morning. Welcome to Duma Game Reserve. My name is Marc. I have Jason on camera with me this morning. VM is in final control. And welcome to this little corner of Africa with a really beautiful dawn. The dawn chorus of the birds is ringing when the trees are wet. We've had a bit of rain. When the trees are wet like this, there's a sound that just is different. Somehow it's a clearer sound, there's a clearer Christmas to the air. It's a really beautiful morning. There was some lovely pink sky. Different types of cloud moving in. We've got different layers. There was rain up until we almost got to camp this morning, so we drove in some rain to begin with. We're up on Zoe's Road having a look out across the whole of expanse of Duma, actually. Believe it or not, that far ridge that we can see is actually the ridge where Cheetah Cutline is, looking to the east. Black-bellied corehorn, black-bellied bustard making its noise. Let's go for a drive. Join me for the next few hours. We're going to be driving live through the African bush. See what we can find for you in terms of fauna and flora. Oh, well. I wasn't watching. We're good. That's the back of the castle there. Nice way to start a day. Fresh. The rain stopped a long time ago. We just had made our own rain. Bumped the tree and dumped all this water on us. I guess I'm not all together there this morning yet. Here, not there, everywhere. Followed some elephant tracks into Duma, so he might be somewhere we rode. Road was washed out mostly, I suppose, by the rain, but his tracks were quite fresh, just walking straight down the entrance road of Toyotella, and he's somewhere on the property. I haven't seen an elephant in a couple of days, so I'd like to try and get hold of him at some point. Not too sure which side of the road we left the road. It looks like he might have even crossed this road now. It'd be nice to see if he's here. I want to just stop in at the hyena den. A little bit early, they might still be out. An empty shell before. I can bring one along again another time. I think it's in the jigger. Probably about, so this one is a medium-sized snail. It's actually quite small. It's only about 4 inches from the tip of its snout to the tip of its tail. Maybe a bit more, actually, because that shell is at least 3 inches long. I think one of those 2-mile-long ore trains that you get, did you have to wait forever to cross it at a level crossing, faster than the snail crossing a 2-track road. Make sure that I don't drive over it with the wheels, straddle it. And here are the elephant tracks. He walked down this way. Looks like it might be the same individual. That's good news. The elephant might have been walking a long time ago because his tracks look fresh, and his dung had already started to be flattened by some of the scarabs. Going might have been a good few hours ago, in which case he took me quite far by now. We need to go and have a look closer towards Treehouse Dam, maybe that area. Of something not very pleasant. Okay, let's move along. Too much happening here. Feat of engineering for a frog. They whip up a type of mucus into this foam as they're mating. As they create the foam, she deposits her eggs and he deposits the sperm. And it stays very moist inside, the eggs encased in this. It's almost like egg white beaten to a froth when you're making meringue. And the outer casing tends to dry, almost like that foam insulation stuff that you get. And then it retains its moisture on the inside. And as the tadpoles hatch and start swimming around, the foam starts condensing inside and it forms droplets that break through the outer crust, the dry crust, and drip into the water below. But I think these frogs were a little misguided, unless they were highly optimistic that we're going to get heavy enough rains that'll fill this little pond. Waiting for some sunshine to warm it up, maybe. A little unusual. Oxpeckers are a benefit to most of the large animals. I suppose warthog are not that big, so they sit on warthog too. But they can prove to be a benefit to the animals that they play host to them. Hello, Oxpecker. I hope you're feeling better. But they can also be a little bit of a pest. The symbiotic relationship that exists or has existed over the years is very interesting, and it being a perfect example of a I suppose a symbiotic mutual benefit relationship. And yet there are times when an animal might have an injury that an oxpecker can be a pain, because they'll keep the injury, they'll keep a wound open, either to attract flies or to attract the fly larvae. Sometimes when sepsis sets into things. I think they would probably also even nourish themselves on the blood of an animal, but I can't be sure of that. I've seen oxpeckers doing things that look like they're worrying an injury so much that it continually bleeds, either on hippos or buffalo. Until I suppose the animal gets itself coated in mud and you can Help to heal. Mud is a healing thing. Very clear tracks off rain. Very clearly a wet leopard, or he's got wet feet. The way the sand is collecting on the fur around his feet, and every time he puts his foot down and he makes it, you can see his pad, his paw print. You can see where the sand was, the wet sand has sort of fallen off around his paw. See if he maybe went straight up. I think he left the road already. I think he's gone back up towards Treehouse Dam. Morning, Mr. Dacre. Well, don't run too far, we want to look at you. It's really done, it's been spread open. A few drops of rain coming. Just a few drops. The buffalo are going to be here, not going very far. Staying close to the water. Don't get up, boys. I'm just gonna. Don't get up on my account, really. There's that old boy with a funny eye. I think it is. 2, 3, 5. Do another 3 or 4 at the back there. 1, 2, 3 at the back there. For a while, its cat is on the move. Oh, please don't rain. Follow this cat. It's starting to come down. You see on the water of the dam now. The rain is starting to fall. I'm thinking we might have to. It's not going to last long, but I think we might just have to go back to the shelter for now. Start making my way back to the shelter. The shelter of a place called the Little House on the Prairie. I can't imagine, it looks like a very light, very high sky. Imagine it's going to last very long, that it's going to be very wet. That would have been quite an intense fight, breaking a horn down at the base of the skull. Probably would have been quite painful. Looks like it was probably a long time ago, because judging by the top of his head, there's no visible sign of the horn stump. Not much scarring either. That probably happened when he was young. I have a photograph of quite an amazing thing. I have a photograph of an impala with another impala's horn embedded in his neck. That was up in Tanzania. But it was embedded in the muscle of the neck.